Good afternoon. Today is another RV hints and tips video. So behind me here is my truck and my trailer hitch, and I want to show you some issues that this trailer hitch has had due to improper installation of the hitch ball. So I just recently bought this trailer hitch from a friend of mine. We met up on a camping trip and did some trading, and I got the trailer hitch, and I had bought some stuff to trade him for the trailer hitch. So first thing I noticed when I got the hitch was that the hitch ball was all loose. The nut had actually backed off the bottom. So I had my tools with me because I needed to adjust the height and remove these two bolts and raise it. So I was able to tighten the hitch ball too. But then yesterday I'm prepping the hitch for another trailer, which is this little black cargo trailer over here, which has a much lower tongue height than my RV. And I noticed that that hitch ball is only rated for 6,000 pounds. So I noticed that when I was kind of doing an inspection of the top of the hitch ball, and noticed that it is all beat up and worn. And I don't know that the person I got this trailer hitch from ever put any kind of lubrication on the ball. So anyway, between the fact that this hitch ball is worn and it's not rated for the weight that I need, I decided to replace it. So at the beginning of the video I mentioned improper installation. That might be a little bit of an exaggerated term to describe this, but this seems to be a common thing that certain RV dealers will do when they sell an RV and throw in a hitch with their RV purchase. And we'll take a look here. And this issue is probably what contributed to the ball working itself loose. This hole is 1.25 inches. The shaft on this ball is 1 inch. And a lot of these hitch manufacturers include a sleeve with the hitch, a reducer sleeve or a reducer bushing. Well, if we look real close at this, especially right there, you can see how it has deformed. There's actually a great big ridge right in this area where that thing has been wallowing around after a lot of towing with this particular hitch. So it no longer had a tight fit. See, this is 2 layers of metal welded together. That it was probably in here like that, and as it flopped around, and actually you can see how much play there is back and forth. So it doesn't even fit right to begin with, but that working back and forth, plus eventually the nut working itself loose, then this sleeve, bushing, whatever you want to call it, dropped down a little bit. So right now I'm holding it flush with the bottom of the hitch. So that's exactly how it was sitting. So that groove is created because this bushing had dropped down. So that groove is right in the position where it would be resting on the main body, this lower piece of metal. So over time, it just kept wobbling around more, deforming the bushing more, loosening itself up and causing the nut to back off. And you can actually see here too how this area right there is thinner. So what these bushings look like when they're new is this. Kind of looks like a bronze bushing, but it's not, it's steel. And that doesn't fit any tighter. So guess what? Eventually, we're going to end up with the same problem if your hitch doesn't have the right size shank on your ball. I went to a local trailer shop and purchased a new ball with the proper size shank. It's 1.25 inches. And this is a much heavier rated ball as well. This guy is rated for 15,000 pounds. Do have just a little bit of play in here with this ball. but not nearly the amount of play with the reducer bushing and a 1-inch shank, because you've got double the amount of play. Basically, you've got play between the shank on the ball and the reducer bushing, plus the reducer bushing inside of the hole. So really, this reducer bushing is a piece of garbage. It doesn't even fit right. So that's my helpful hint tips for the day as far as trailer hitches go. And something I also highly recommend is that you carry the necessary tools to tighten this big gigantic nut, because they do tend to work themselves loose. Here, probably about 10 years ago, my brother was towing a flatbed trailer with a Jeep on it, and at one point he stopped, and I think he mentioned that he had kind of heard some banging and clanging around as he was coming down the off-ramp or something. And he went back and looked at the hitch, and the entire nut and washer was completely gone off of his hitch. So that's another good lesson why you should always check your nut on the bottom of the ball. It's not really probably necessary to check it every trip, but it sure doesn't hurt to at least give it a visual inspection. And here's the tools that I used. 2 great big gigantic crescent wrenches. I don't use these crescent wrenches for much of anything except trailer hitches, so I didn't really need a really high quality wrench. These are part of a 4-pack that I bought at Harbor Freight. This one's an 18-inch, and this one over here is a 24-inch. And a better way to do this is like this here. Just a lot easier to see what you're doing and getting the wrench on here when this hitch is mounted sideways. This hitch ball was $20 at a local trailer shop. When you're looking to get a replacement ball, make sure that the one you get is not completely round at the base. This one's got 2 flat sides, and this one is actually an entire hex shape on it. I like the one with the 2 flat sides better, because then you don't need a crescent wrench quite as gigantic as the one with the hex on the bottom. It really works good to have 2 people when you're doing this project. And if you've got a big gigantic torque wrench, it's not a bad idea to use that torque wrench, but I don't have a socket big enough to go around that. So I'm just going to tighten this as tight as I can possibly get it. And when we get to a certain point, it's actually easier to push down on the wrench rather than pull up on it. Of course, then we do have to hold up on the other one, but I can put my foot on this one and push down on it. And that's pretty much about as tight as I think I can get it. Yeah, I've got all my weight on that, or a pretty good majority of it, so I think we're going to call that good. A couple of things worth noting is that if you buy an RV and the RV dealer includes a trailer hitch, is to make sure that the hitch ball shank fits the hole and they don't use a reducer bushing, and also that the ball is rated for the proper GVWR of the trailer. So in this example, the trailer that this hitch was towing was a 7,000 pound GVWR, and the RV dealer only installed a 6,000 pound ball. So that was an epic fail on the part of this particular dealer. So that concludes this video. If you've got any questions, be sure to post those in the comments below, and hit the subscribe button, and also click the little notification bell so you get notified when I produce more videos. Thanks. Bye.